Welcome back to The Storyteller. Follow us today to a 2017 thriller, horror movie titled, Girl Next Door. Before we start, be aware, there are spoilers. The movie starts with a series of incidents of a happy life of mom and a daughter back in 1934. We see daughter playing in front of house, then her mother comes to her and tell her that she need not play alone, soon there will be a baby to play with her. At present in 2016 Dr. Krish, a successful brain surgeon, and his wife Lakshmi live peacefully in their beautiful house under the mountains in Rosina Valley. In the next scene we see Dr. Krish talking to patient while performing surgery on him and performs successful surgery. A family moves into the house next door to Krish house where the mother and the daughter lived in 1934. Jenny and her half-sister Sarah come to introduce themselves to Lakshmi. Tells her they just moved there and invite her to the housewarming party next week. Jenny is a troubled teenager and after losing her mother at the young age, she has turned out to be a rebel. While she doesn't despise her caring stepmother, she never misses a chance to throw tantrums at her either. But, she loves her half-sister Sarah. A week later couple visits the housewarming party. That night while exploring the house Krish saw Jenny jumping into the well, and runs to save her. Krish jumps into the well and saves Jenny from drowning. On the same night Jenny's father comes to Krish's house to ask for help as Jenny is having seizures. Krish rushes to Paul's house and treats Jenny for seizures wires and calms her down, and asks Paul to visit hospital in the morning. Few days passes by. Lakshmi invites Paul and his family for dinner. At dinner Jenny attracted to Krish's charm and makes an attempt to come closer to him. As everyone is talking Jenny sees outside of window and gets scared as she sees some spirit outside house. She is not well so Paul asks her to sleep and she would get better in the morning. In the morning Paul calls Krish as Jenny and Sarah are both missing. As everyone gets panicked they start looking for the kids. Jenny goes to the top of mountain and we see her sister Sarah is following her and calling her by her name. Here we can see Jenny is in some kind of spiritual influence that is making her do things like that. Paul and Krish finds both kids and on going home on questioning why did she act like that she collapses on Paul's body. In the next scene we see Krish introducing Dr. Prasad to Paul and Jenny and he starts diagnosing her. On Dr. Prasad asking she tells him all the strange incidents happened to her. And Jenny tells him that there is someone who is telling her to leave the house and then the doctor concludes she has developed paranoia with visual and auditory hallucinations. Out of concern Jenny's grandfather contacts a nomad but Paul refuses to take any help from him as he doesn't believe in black magic. In the room we see Jenny combing her hair while humming Chinese lullaby. They have also arranged a hypnotherapy session where Jenny tells her it is Li Jing and not her who has went to the hills. And a series of paranormal incidents abound that affects the lives of the people around her. Jennifer's new house is haunted by 3 ancient Chinese spirits, and one of them is a man and he is bloodthirsty while the other 2 spirits are the mom and the daughter who helps the family to get out of the house without trouble. The mother-daughter duo continues to warn the people to leave the house but they don't leave. Paul calls the pastor to perform exorcism on Jenny but the session leaves pastor in coma with Krish and Paul heavily injured. Krish gets heavily injured and pastor who was performing exorcism goes into coma when Jenny attacks both of them. Later on, when it is believed to be everything is fine, Lakshmi becomes pregnant and the maid in Paul's house disappeared. Paul agrees to call the nomad witnessing this and he revealed there is a spirit of mother and daughter who are asking them to leave. He also discovered the bodies where they were buried. Krish accompanies Dr. Prasad when he decides to visit a lady from the neighbor village to know what has happened to Paul's house 80 years ago. Krish accompanies Dr. Prasad. On the way to the neighboring village Dr. Prasad tells Krish what happened 80 years ago. There used to live a Chinese family. Where Paul's family is living right now. A man called Lu Wei, his wife and their daughter. Lu Wei was a silk trader. He used to import raw silk from China and sell it here to the kings, princes, and the British officials. They lived there for many years. And suddenly, one day, their dead bodies were found in the house. A little girl was an eyewitness to it. They say, she was absolutely scared to speak, then. We're going to meet that same girl now. The lady revealed to them how the man of house Lu Wei has killed her own daughter to get a baby boy. A boy is born if a girl child is sacrificed. On the day of a total solar eclipse, the Lu Wei was chanting. The old woman tells them all this while these spirits were just trying to warn them. But Lu Wei's soul was not letting them leave. She also tells them tomorrow there will be a solar eclipse, once again. Back at hospital the pastor tells Lakshmi that Krish is the reason behind everything bad that's happened in here. Krish has been possessed by the soul of the man who was died in this house. Krish kills Dr. Prasad as he understood the truth that not only Jenny is possessed by the woman's spirit but Lu Wei has possessed Krish to fulfill his unsuccessful work 80 years back. The pastor says he can't stop Krish by himself. We all have to stop him together. This is not the end. The nomad tells Paul that Lu Wei had sacrificed his own child in this house. But he didn't get what he had desired for. Today, Lu Wei will definitely use Krish to fulfill his motives. Li Jing's spirit possessed Jenny to save Paul's family at any cost. When Krish arrives home, Lakshmi tricks him and locks him into a room. In the next scene we see Krish is completely possessed by Lu Wei's spirit. He slams down the door and scares away everyone from the room. Krish starts looking for Sarah. Lakshmi tries to stop Krish from getting near to Sarah but she gets injured by Krish. However, Krish finds Sarah and tells her to lie down on the wood. Krish was about to kill Sarah with sharpener of glass. Lakshmi threatens Krish she would kill herself if he does any harm to Sarah. Meanwhile, everyone gather in the room and hold Krish from going near to Sarah. But they fail to control him longer as Krish has got spiritual power of Lu Wei. Then we see spirits of mother and daughter preventing Krish from getting near to Sarah. As this tug of war continues, the sun rises and solar eclipse gets over. Possession of Lu Wei from Krish body get finished, and everything becomes normal. In the next scene we see everyone meeting 4 years later in Goa. Krish and Lakshmi has a baby boy named Rishi. And Jenny is going to New York for further studies in fashion and design. Then we see Rishi's son has got eyes similar to Lu Wei and the movie ends. Make sure to hit subscribe button and follow the storyteller for interesting movie recaps.